Alright guys, what's going on? Welcome to another video. In this video, we are going to be finally washing my E39 M5. So I know this is a more basic wash video, but this car has traveled from Ohio all the way to Florida and actually wasn't washed for several weeks before it left Ohio, so it's been maybe close to like 1,200 miles without a full detail. As you guys already know, I did a two-step paint correction, Polish Angel, Rapid Wax, and master sealant on this thing. So this thing is protected properly, but it is seriously trashed right now. So as many of you know, I moved down to Florida and I will be doing a full wash, first M5 wash down here. This car needs a lot more attention than just a regular wash, but for today we're just gonna stick to the basics, get this thing cleaned up, and then we will go ahead and take care of other things, you know, the exhaust, the engine bay, and all that good stuff. A full wheels off detail will be done very soon, guys. I know you're very excited about that, but yes, the M5 is here, and we're gonna start detailing it. And if you are wondering, yes, I did design this t-shirt. It is my new Shifted Perspective, sort of the newest t-shirt that I've been designing. Links are in the description and also below the video. On the back, hopefully I can show you, it has the Shifted Perspective logo. I really like it. It's a more athletic fit, but it's not too short, so you have some length. When you lift your hands up, it doesn't turn it into a belly shirt or anything like that. So they're really good. They're really, they're sort of like the American Apparel type fitting shirts. So sort of try to fit your body to those shirts if you're interested. I'd really greatly appreciate it. Any of the proceeds directly go to the channel for mods and camera gear and all that stuff. I'm gonna move the camera in here. If you guys are wondering, obviously this is not my garage, but this is where the M3 is gonna be, at least for a period of time. Obviously much better washing procedure here than anywhere else where I'll be in the not too distant future. So anyways, a full sort of quote garage tour was uploaded on the channel by now. If you guys are interested, I kind of give you a rundown of, you know, what's going on. My detailing cabinet's right there. Obviously I have some other stuff here, so if you're interested, go check that out. And yes, I know the floors are tile, which is kind of weird to me, but you know, it's not my house. So anyways, that's the quick background on the garage. Want to point out something really quick about the foaming procedure. So obviously my procedure, as a lot of you guys already know, is I rinse, foam, and then I start washing the car. And a lot of people get a little bit sensitive that I don't rinse the foam off first. This would actually be a good example of maybe considering rinsing the foam off, because one, it's a black car, and two, it was really filthy. So the chances of scratching are just a little bit higher. and seeing the scratches are higher just because it's black. But what I did instead was I did a full foam, and then as the foam has dripped off, obviously this has dripped off, but the hood has a little bit more on it, and that's because I just finished foaming again. So I kind of just did 2 foaming procedures as opposed to foam, rinse, foam, and then washing. That's just an extra tiny little half step I did today. I don't think it makes a huge difference in the grand scheme of things, but I will also tell you that having the right protection on the car makes a huge difference. I have the Polish Angel Master Sealant and Rapid Wax, as I mentioned, and although this car looked trashed, I was actually really nervous about it. A lot of the dirt and debris came off really easily just in the first rinsing procedure. So having the right protection is way more important than you might realize. You know, having the foam and having the Krenzla and having all this cool stuff is great, but literally if you have the right protection, which will keep dirt from accumulating to begin with, and also help you wash the car and clean it and make it that much more easier, that's really what's key here in my opinion. Alright guys, so it's going to be time to wash the car. Really simple, self-explanatory. Use my Adams wash pad. Obviously I have my 2-bucket method, which I think you can see right there. I'm going to be rinsing out the wash pad a little bit more than I normally would, or at least being more cognizant of it. And all of a sudden it gets really windy, but as you guys can actually see, the Jeep is back there, the M5 is here, the M3 is here, just totally as a sidebar, so don't worry, all the cars actually did make it here to Florida. Anyways, let's get to washing this car. So real quick guys, the observant viewer would have already noticed this, but I'm actually using a different gun. This is the MTM SGS 28 fully stainless steel, very similar to my Mosmatic. The only difference you can really tell by looking at it is that the Mosmatic right here is like purple, but this one is obviously gray. And then also I have a bent wand from MTM as well. This is, both of these things are a little bit cheaper than the current setup I was using, but MTM actually recently reached out to me and wanted me to try them out and kind of promote them and things like that. So I will say, sort of as a quick little comprehensive review, they both work very well, very similar to the more expensive Mosmatic, which I actually bought from Matt from Obsessed Garage, so he actually carries both of these things. But anyways, if you are on a budget but you do want something really nice and still very high-end, definitely recommend this so far. I'll probably do a little bit more thorough video on this specifically, but this is the 20-degree bent with the stainless steel, with the swivel, which is key, so you're not having your cable you're not having your cable kinked up and all that stuff. And then of course we have the regular tip that has never changed for me, the 4-degree tip. So really easy, really quick, and thank you MTM for sending these out to me. So this was the other 20-degree bent wand that I was using, and then of course this is the one I was using for the longest time, the Mosmatic. Very high end, and that works very similar. This does have a nice little click kind of when you finally pull it, where the other one doesn't, but I'll be kind of just using them interchangeably and seeing if I have a strong opinion. But both are very nice. Definitely recommend if you have sort of a, you know, a more higher end niche pressure washer setup that you want to get. Definitely recommend either of those things. Very good, you can't go wrong. So I blew off the car. Really, when I blow off the car, it's not to get the full car completely dry. Obviously there is water still on the car. I just want to get, you know, maybe 60 or 70% of the water out, but mostly on the small cracks and crevices, especially, you know, in the mirrors and in the corners and stuff like that. And, you know, any sort of little crack and crevice, I want to blow the water out. It's funny because on the M5, especially like in between these lights, like where this corner is, you can even see there's probably a tiny bit of soap in there, and then, you know, under the license plate and stuff like that. And even in the trim, I want to blow that out because it's just so annoying when you spend all this time washing the car, and then there's like tiny little dirty little water spots that just accumulate, and even here water will sit if you don't get it. So anyways, that is done. But what we're going to be doing today is a different little drying procedure because the car was very very dirty. So we're going to be using something called rapid wax, which is sort of like a topper. The other alternative that I usually use on this car is ammo hydrate, or I use something called Presto Detail, which is, you know, obviously more a quick detailer, but this is going to be kind of used as a quick detailer slash topping agent, which is already on the car, but I'm going to put another layer on since it's been several weeks, and I really just want to get something, you know, another little sacrificial layer built up on the car. Alright, so this stuff has to be shaken really well. Of course, it's already leaking everywhere because the top of this bottle really sucks. So what I do, nice little very gently now I'll flip the towel over to the dry side and just kind of do one last little buff to make sure there's no streaking, which there's a little bit right now, but it usually hazes over pretty well. Just don't use too much. Very gentle, very gentle, guys. As you could see earlier with my wash mitt, I was very gentle, and with this, barely touch it. And I know all these trees, literally within like 5 minutes, even when I washed my M3 earlier, there's crap sitting on the car. So be very careful with wiping it no matter where you are. And that's not good enough. I either use too much product or I need sort of a higher pile towel, and this one seems to be doing a better job. I can press slightly harder and it's picking it up slightly better. So this is probably a better method. I'll be using this as my first, and this is my second wipe. And this would be the same process with detail spray or whatever. A lot of times I use the Geon Silk dryers or the twisted towels. They're so good. They're way better than the waffle weave in my opinion. But this, I actually want to apply product, and I do want to touch the whole car, all of the paint, because we are actually applying a wax to it, which is supposed to be very good.